Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Maha Abouelenein, the global communication strategist. She is the author of 7 Rules of Self-Reliance, How to Stay Low and Keep Moving, a book that shows you how to deploy your greatest asset, yourself, to achieve your dreams and beyond. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Casey. I miss you. I'm glad to be back here.
Oh, we're so excited to welcome to the studio. Thank you for your time. She's a busy lady.
Well, I mean, I love your energy. I want to say that first and foremost. And I want to ask you, for people who are seeing this book for the first time, what is one takeaway that you would want people to leave with when looking at the book?
First of all, like you said, the most important asset is yourself. The concept of self-reliance is not that I need to rely on myself, I don't need anybody. It's the concept of investing in yourself before you reach out to work with other people. Build your personal brand. Build your own relationships, have a network of relationships, and find ways to add value to other people.
Speaking of adding value, you say hustle culture is our value. We should use our strengths to hustle. But how can we define what our strengths actually are for people watching today? Like, how do I know what I'm good at?
Yeah, how do you know what you're good at? Take an inventory. Think about, ask somebody, what are 3 things I'm known for? What are some things that you think about when you think about me? Like, what are some things that come to mind? Are those the things you want to be known for? How to find your narrative? What do you stand for? How do you want to show up in this world? That's your reputation, and that's what you need to focus on. Everybody has a unique talent and a secret sauce, and I want you to be able to use that to get ahead in what you want to do, either personally or professionally.
How can we use that for someone, in Dubai, people come to Dubai to look for jobs and opportunities, and we know that Dubai is the city of opportunities. So for someone who is jobless, how can they use that and utilize that for the employers?
Okay, first of all, number 1, which is the biggest chapter in the book, build your reputation, build your personal brand. A lot of people think personal brand is about being a social media influencer. No, it's about your reputation. So making sure you have a strong reputation can bring you opportunities. Number 2, build relationships. Become very good at networking, not just on LinkedIn, but in real life. Meet with people. Learn about their businesses. Learn about what are the ways you can bring value to them. Your network is not there to serve you. You should serve your network. So I think it's really important that if you're new to the country and you want to figure out where to start by trying to make a lot of relationships and build that network of yours. Second, focus on your reputation. What do you want to be known for? How can people really know how you can show up in the world? And number 3, think about being curious. Learn about the different industries. Learn about the different opportunities that exist in Dubai. Study things like watch Lovin Dubai. Find out what's happening in industry, what's happening in culture, and find where you can kind of pull that string and be more active in that area.
I think be curious is one of the biggest things in the book that came out, is in just keep deep diving into new things to find where you can add value. But one of the things also that was unique for you personally is that you've done a lot of, I guess, work for free.
Yes.
But for people who are looking for jobs, for example, and do you suggest that as an avenue for someone to go down? For example, unpaid internships.
Yeah, I really think, especially if you're new to the market, one of the things you can do, I always look at an opportunity as 2 kind of avenues. Is this an opportunity to learn or an opportunity to earn? Sometimes I took jobs or I asked to work for free so I can show people what I'm capable of doing and be intentional about it. But also it's going to give me an opportunity to learn about that business, learn about that industry, learn and make new relationships. So I figured I worked for free for Gary Vee for quite some time. I did a big project for Matt Higgins because I wanted to spend time getting to know them. I understood the long-term benefits of investing in that relationship and not thinking about what am I going to get out of the end as a transaction, knowing that I was going to get experience, I was going to get exposure, I was going to build tremendous relationships. And I feel it's critical in today's world that you don't work on instant gratification. And I'm going to do this for you so you can do something for me. What about being a long-term player and putting a deposit in someone else's trust bank?
I totally agree with you, but was there ever any doubt? Because it seems like you're not just doing a project for someone behind the scenes, monumental amounts of work and personal sacrifice, I'm sure, on your behalf. So was there ever inches of doubt, and how do you get rid of that doubt?
Exactly. Well, you need to balance it, right? You don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to give away the house for free. So you need to be calculated. These are the boundaries. This is how much time I'm willing to spend. I'm willing to use my time, but I'm not going to use the resources of my company or my team because Those are billable hours for clients. So you have to set that kind of boundaries of where you're going to go. And there's no risk without a reward, right? You need to figure out what am I willing, how much time am I willing to spend, how much effort am I willing to do, so I can make sure I'm not just giving away, like I said, the house for free.
Well, like in a country where like a lot of internships can be maybe like, oh yeah, it's for free, right? So how can you set the boundary? Like, okay, fine, this is what I want, and this is what I want out of the internship, whether it's money or whether it's a job.
Set some goals. Like, I'm going to spend some time trying to build some relationships. I'm going to, like, once you think you've learned what you want to learn, then is the time for you to say, okay, evaluate, do I need to keep going, or have I maximized my return on this investment? What relationships have I built? Have I learned enough about the industry? Do I really feel like I understand? If, I talk about in the story in the book of my first move to Egypt, I got offered to be the secretary for the chairman of a big company, a billionaire, Naguib Sawiris. And I was like, I thought I was overqualified to be a secretary, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to take this role because it's going to give me a chance to learn. If you get a chance to work close to the sun, a chairman of a company, a billionaire, somebody where you can learn ins and outs of the business, make relationships, learn the industry, then you have to sign up for it and you need to lean in.
The book is filled with personal stories. One such example of to be a creator, not a waiter. So could you share a personal story of how you actually, employed that method into your real life?
Yeah, so the book is filled with a lot of stories that have to do with the Middle East, because this is where I built my career and worked for more than 23 years, working in the office of the ruler of Dubai, working at Kareem, building out their communications infrastructure, head of communications at Google based in Dubai, launching Netflix in Dubai in the Middle East, and working here for 5 years for Netflix. And I feel like the big chapter 3 or rule number 3 in the book is don't be a waiter. Often in life, we're waiting. We're waiting for everything to be lined up before we take that move. We're waiting because we fear failure. We're waiting because we want permission from others to make moves. We're waiting because we fear judgment. And my message to you is don't be a waiter. There's never going to be a right time. A lot of tech companies do this concept of launch and iterate. Launch a product and then iterate it, fix it while it's in the market, get feedback from users. You should do that as well with yourself. So one of the examples I can tell you in the book about don't being a waiter is I could have waited for the right opportunity in Egypt to find the right job for me. But I decided to take that role as a secretary for the chairman of a company, even though I was 27, I had several years of work experience, I had my master's degree, I was clearly qualified to do more than just that role. But I said I either can wait for the right role, or I can take this opportunity to learn and to understand the telecoms business and understand what it's like to work for someone so dynamic like Naguib Sawiris. And that move changed my life forever. It really humbled me, taught me how to network. It taught me how to really invest in relationships. It taught me new skills I didn't even know I was capable of doing because I never tried. I never used those muscles before. Often in life, we say we can't do something. But in fact, we've never been asked to do them, so we don't know if we're capable. And 9 times out of 10, you step up to the challenge, you can rely on yourself to do it, and you can achieve success.
Well, in your book, you talked about the importance of the personal brand, and you told us about as well how important it is to have your own personal brand. But why is it so important? Because, when people look at, when you are talking about the personal brand, all I'm thinking is how is that even done, and why is it so important?
Yeah, when you think about personal branding, like I said, replace it with the word reputation. And don't you care about your reputation, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you need to have a strong reputation in order to attract talent, in order to attract investors, in order to work with the right suppliers or partners. Like when people know Lovin Dubai as a name in the market, people want to work with you because you've built a strong name, you've built a strong reputation. The same thing goes for your business or even for you. If you work at a company, why should you work on your personal brand? Because if you want to get a promotion, if you want to work on that project that's going to make you a rock star, you have to have a strong personal brand at work. Are you a collaborator? Are you a team player? Are you a good listener? Are you resourceful? Are you insightful? Are you a go-getter? That's your personal brand at work. It's your reputation. We live in a world right now with cancel culture, or, a lot of people are taking advantage of the creator economy, creating their personal brands in the market. So you can't afford not to work on your reputation. You can't afford not to build your brand in the market. And your reputation, I talk about in the book, is a currency. What's its worth, what's its value, and treat it as something so valuable. your name is the only thing you own.
So true. And if we were to look, we're going to steal you for some advice, I guess. And if we were to look at that a little bit more deeply, like if I'm an entrepreneur, outside of businesses, people, like what do you actually mean for personal branding? Like give 3 pieces of advice for a person who wants to build a personal brand, who wants to start treating their reputation like currency.
Okay, first of all, you need to figure out what's the thing I want to be known for? What's my purpose? What is the thing I want to talk about? Is it yoga? Is it photography? Is it my passion for writing? Is it like what is the thing that you want to be known for? It could be related to your career or not related to your career, because a lot of people have things that they like to do, interests outside of work, right? So I want my personal brand to be about how to be an effective leader, or how to talk to people, or how to write a good resume or a CV. So what is your purpose? That's number 1. Number 2, who is your audience? Who do I really want to talk to? And figure out the best way to talk to them. Are you comfortable in a podcast format? Are you comfortable speaking on stage? Are you comfortable in real life, not on social media, building your personal brand in your community or however else you want to activate that? Are you comfortable doing blogs because you don't want to be seen on camera, so you just want to you want to write? There's multiple formats that you can think about. What's the format you can do consistently? What's the format that makes you comfortable? Because you need to be, which is number 3, authentic. Be yourself. The only way you're going to continue to build your personal brand and be consistent about it and to meet your purpose is to do it authentically. Like it's something that is your natural state that doesn't fake it till you make it. And I find, think about who you follow on social media. Why do you like to follow them? How are you connecting with them? They evoke emotion. You like their style of communicating. They're funny. They attract you in a way that makes you want to continue to follow them. You need to think about, what is your style? What's unique to you? Everybody has something. And I really believe that. And I find that the market is abundant. There's room for everybody. And don't think, oh, there's already another personal trainer doing that on social media, I'm not going to do that. Or there's already somebody doing inspirational work on the internet, I don't think I can be that person. You can, and you should.
Well, I want to say something that someone might be following all of the rules, the rules of self-reliance and everything. However, failure is bound to happen, whether we like it or not. And a lot of people are actually very afraid of failing, and they do often give up immediately from like the first inconvenience.
Yeah, so I failed a lot in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have been working for 30 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years. I had 2 full-time jobs. I worked at General Mills, a consumer packaged goods company, and I worked at Google full-time as an employee. And, you know, failure is where I learned. Failure is where I grew. Failure is where I became innovative about what I wanted to do next. And I think we need to celebrate failures. Not everything in life is up and to the right. Like the peaks and valleys, that's where the growth comes from. And I feel like talking about it is really important. Like I love following companies and leaders who talk about their failures, because that's where the lessons come from. And I want to normalize it, because I feel like if we can find a way to find the lesson in the failure, it's what can move us forward and propel us forward. And it's actually, from my experience, where I grew the most. Like I got fired from a job and that felt terrible. I made a big mistake and I don't want to do that again. And that's what I want people to learn. Like nobody's perfect, and nobody gets to where they are by just doing success after success after success. It's learning about how to take those setbacks and turn them into comebacks.
Speaking of learning from success, so you were head of communications. Like you've had such an amazing career history, but one of the roles was head of communications, MENA, global communications and public affairs for Google. So what is the most valuable thing you learned during your time there?
I mean, Google is an incredible company. Obviously, it's been voted best place to work for several years in a row. So working there was the ultimate experience, except for I didn't like the hours, because you work Dubai hours, then London would wake up, and then the US, so you put in very, very long days. But I think the thing I learned the most by working at Google is that innovation is sort of something in everything you should do. Like there's never a wrong answer. Like you can try to innovate and problem solve for what you want to get done. And they really put a big emphasis on collaboration and working on cross-functional teams. So I never felt like I was alone. And I really loved that. I took that into my company. How do we work cross-functionally across the organization? Just because this is your work area, you don't work in your silo. Maybe somebody across the aisle that's doing something completely different can bring value to what you're trying to do. And I love that. And I took that everywhere I went in my career about don't just take one perspective and one point of view on how you approach something. Try to work with different people because everyone has a different perspective that can bring value to what you're trying to solve.
Well, you are a great, I would say, a firm believer in invest in yourself.
Yes.
I mean, I love that because like you said it at the beginning of the interview and now you are keep on saying it in different ways. So what does that mean to you and how can we do that today?
Yeah, and it's why I put it on the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Own your future by investing in yourself. I don't want to get left behind, Casey, because I don't know things, right? Everything on the internet is for free. YouTube videos are for free. Podcasts are for free. Spending time learning from somebody is for free, right? So I want you to think about not waiting for your manager to invest in you. Your manager's not waking up every day thinking about your career. Guaranteed. So you need to invest in yourself. Market is changing. Culture is changing. AI is here. The internet is taking over in ways that we never thought imaginable. So what are you doing to invest in yourself to stay ahead? Because the market is now a level playing field. Because of a global remote working environment, I'm not just competing with people in Dubai. I might be competing with someone with an internet connection that can take my job because now they're hiring people remotely, right? So you need to stay competitive. You need to invest in yourself, read books, learn new skills, build more relationships. That's what I mean by invest in yourself. I'm not talking about monetary value, like you have to go take courses and pay for things. I'm talking about always sharpening yourself, always thinking about what can I learn? How can I take advantage? We've never lived in a better time to be alive. We have access to everything for free just by getting online. And that for me is what motivates me. That's what excites me, that I'm like, I can learn from the biggest leaders in the world today. I can sit and listen to a podcast or see how Elon Musk or anybody starts their day. What do they do? What's LeBron James's routine? Like, I have access to that. Like, I'm going to hack as much as I can from learning how the world's best do it in my micro kind of version of things. And that for me is not only inspiring and educating, but it's going to give me a competitive edge at work and in my personal life.
Finally, a massive congratulations on the book. It is a great read if you yourself want to invest in yourself. It really tells you how in more detail. But in your words, who is the book for and where can people find it?
So the book is for anyone with ambition. I feel like a lot of the feedback that I've gotten in the book, it hasn't been out a month yet. Thank God we're a bestseller. People have been reading it and consuming it either in audio format or in the hardcover. And they're telling me if you're a young adult or a young entrepreneur, you want to learn how to have skills to learn how to build a network. How do you master the art of the DM on LinkedIn? How do you build relationships? If you're young in your career, you need to do that. It's for people who are CEOs, who are leaders of companies, who are entrepreneurs, who want to know in a pivot what they need to do. You have to learn how to rely on yourself so you don't get on the back foot. It's for people who are leaders in transition. You're in corporate, you want to be an entrepreneur. It's really for anybody. It truly is. I get that feedback from a lot of people that in different genres of their lives stages, they are consuming this book, loving kind of the value that it's bringing to them. The book is available on Amazon. It's also available at Kinokuniya. How do I say that?
I don't know.
That big bookstore in the Dubai
The biggest
Mall.
bookstore.
And McGrudy's is available here locally at bookstores, but it's also available on Amazon. You order it today, it'll be at your doorstep tomorrow.
Maha, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate it.
Appreciate having me.
Thank you, Farah.
Thank you, Farah.
And that brings us to the end of the show. We're back here with you tomorrow morning. Have a fabulous Monday. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.